Welcome to October week 3 GBP JPY weekly recap. We'll be going over the best moves on here. We'll look at the analysis from last week too. This analysis had a couple scenarios in mind that we had a lower high here, so we may push up, so the analysis basically push up to here, grab liquidity, push down, and then push onto this level. If it broke, then it broke down and we continue down, or push up to near 138.00 and then rejected, right? So we had these two levels played out, mapped out. We knew the price was going to retrace up initially, right? May retrace up to here before continuing down. So let's check what happened, and we'll check for market open. So I labeled the three high probability setups, the three quality setups that I found were the highest quality, and then we could have executed on. So initially, what happened was price was accumulating in the lower time frames after tapping into this 4-hour level, right? And we know that once accumulation breaks, we got to retest, and then price continued up. So this retest happened during pre-London, right? This retest happened in pre-London. We look at 15 minutes. Prior to pre-London, late Asian price made a high, broke out of the accumulation right here, right? This accumulation above 4-hour demand area. Retested several times at 136.25-ish area. Right, another lower high low, sorry, and then we continued up. Where do we continue up till? Price continued up till the 4-hour level that we had, right? 4-hour level that we had drawn over here, right? And then after that, we saw price sell off, and where they return back to this 4-hour market structure. So it's just one higher time frame level to the next, and you see price came back down here. Okay, so best entries were taken on the retest of the accumulation. And as you can see, when we were retesting the accumulation and creating that higher low to continue up, what was price also doing in the lower time frame? Price was also accumulating right there, right? And then once we got a break out of this minor accumulation, right, continued up straight to 137.2, and then we rejected it, right? So that was a nice 60 pips from there, or if you entered here, it would have been around 75 pips. So 1 second, let's say our entry was over here, right? Because we're trying to get the most optimal entry always. So entry there, or if you missed your entry, then your entry could have been here. Let's just say it's over here, and then we can target 137.2, sorry, and your stop loss right there, 10 pips below that. 11 pips, 1 to 7 risk reward, right? Clean, level to level, higher time frame level, move from after breaking out of accumulation all the way till pushed all the way till the next higher time frame level at 137.2, like stated. Okay, and then I'm just going to remove this box and draw for our market structure. That is for our market structure, right? And just gonna put some color to it so we can differentiate that, right? So we know that that is our 4-hour structure, and then if price rejected this resistance, it come back down to retest this 4-hour structure, right? So what happened was price, we had this first move 80 pips. Price rejected it, right? Rejected resistance, came down, and we knew that we were going to get some sort of sell move from there because it is a strong intraday level. Got a sell move, came down to a 4-hour structure, like we said. Price initially rejected this in Asian, and then came back down during pre-London. So during London Open, came back down because over here, when price was consolidating in lower time frame, there wasn't enough buying pressure in the market to push it up. And we knew that this was one of our ranges, right? This was our buying range. So what happened was that price did a liquidity grab at support, right? Pulled down, rejected it, and then went up to 137 initially, okay? So see, it pulled straight back down. So when you see price consolidating during like pre-London in the middle of two higher time frame levels, such as this and this, that it's most likely going to pull to one of the levels and then do a nice move, right? And in this instance, price pulled down, London Open, pulled down to 4-hour support, consolidated, right? Lower time frame accumulated, and then pushed up. More accumulation created a higher low, and then pushed up to 137. So most optimal entry would have been here, and you can actually go down to the 1-minute chart, and we can even check that out. I'm just gonna have to scroll over a little. As you can see, price was consolidating after initially rejecting support. And then we came down for liquidity, right? Not enough buying pressure up here to continue up. Came down, accumulated. As soon as we broke that accumulated, this was basically support rejecting, right? Price accumulating to push up a higher low, and then we reach 137.0, right? So super clean liquidity grab down to 4-hour support. Like we say, price will always come to higher time frame levels. And then we got our nice buy move. So entries right there. Entries right there. And then take profit at 137. That would be a nice level to take profit at. And the stop loss over there, right? Still 1 to, what is this, 1 to 4.7. Okay, so we got 80 pips and we got 60 pips. 140 pips, right? Then next day, price accumulated, just ranged, right? Although it did break up above 137.2, and then I thought it was going to go to 137.8, but it actually didn't. Instead, it found resistance below that, right? And we saw accumulation there. But what we saw happen on Thursday was price rejected this area, and we can go into 4-hour, sorry, 30-minute lower time frame. The price initially found resistance over here in intraday, tapped into it during pre-London, and then price pushed down, kept pushing down, right? Once it kept pushing down, we saw that price was ranging below 137.200, so there's further chance of continuation. We did see the continuation during Asian session on Thursday night. And then what we saw last night was this. Last night on Friday night, price was moving down in pre-London, but it was unable to stay down, right? Then on the selling pressure continuing, you can actually see seller exhaustion happening right here, right? This move was getting smaller, and then now price was just kind of ranging and sellers exhausting, right? So what we also saw was that there's structure right here, lower time frame structure, and price is currently below it. So we knew that if we broke above it, price will continue up. Where? Continue up to our higher time frame level. Okay, so let's just draw that structure out. This was right here. Okay. So this lower time frame structure, this is near pre-London. Price is below it. So we need to be pushed up. We're most likely going to go up. Even if the bias is down, we need liquidity to continue down, right? So what happened was at London Open, so you see this structure right here, right? So at London Open, price actually, so before that, bottomed out, another higher low. Price came down during London Open, rejected it, created a higher low, and then broke up. Broke up, retest, continue up, create a higher low, continue up, and then eventually after it came back down during pre-New York, retested again the same area, and then continued up to 137.2. But as you can see, lower time frame, we were able to identify a reversal incoming, and because there's not enough selling pressure to continue down. So let's just say that. So once that happened, as you can see, price reject, and then price came back up to this level, found resistance at 137.2. You can tell by this wick that the next candle is just gonna retrace up and then continue down. Rejected a resistance, came back down 136.6, 60 pips down, and then continued further down, right? So essentially, this move up was to grab liquidity for the sells that were waiting up here, right? And that's a premium sell area. So on the higher time frame, it looks like a retest of this zone here, higher time frame structure, and then continue down and eventually reach here back at this area. So I'm going to count. This was a bit later, and this was New York session, so you can also count this as a nice move. But I do like this move, right? This was a nice scalp. 30 pips, stop loss 8 pips, so you're almost 1 to 4, right? Now I'm aim up here, but since that we didn't reach that till New York, and then sells from here, and we'll actually go through 1 minute price structure. So see, 1 minute price structure, shot up to 4-hour resistance, consolidated, right? Broke, see 1 minute consolidated right there, broke below, create a lower high right here, lower high after creating this high and resistance. And now we see this shift in structure. Now price is going to do this. And that's exactly what price is, and price continue down. So super nice sells here too. That best entry would have been right there. And then wherever you want to target, you can target 137.8 or even further lower, right? Knowing that, okay, now we grab liquidity. It's very possible that these sells hold off now. So let's say you got 50 pips here, okay? So 3 high quality moves. This was pretty decent quality, but this was nice. First one, best move, 85 pips. Second, 60 pips, 144, 145 pips, right? And then this one we saw a range, and then nice break below this level, the zone, retest continue down. Saw selling exhaustion on Friday at London, and we saw price push up after breaking through minor price structure. 32 pips, so around 175 pips, right? 175 pips, and then sell off here, 15 to stop loss, 50 pip take profit, 175. So we saw 225 pips play out, right? Over GG over 3 quality setups. These 2 were the best. This should have been enough to get the week done. But yeah, that's 4 quality moves. Thanks for watching.